Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Binky back today on this rainy weekend. At least it's not cold, so I'm not going to complain, but it's been raining nonstop. So what's the best thing to do? Try out some new products. Yes, that's how I roll. So this is something that's new to me. Subscription boxes are still pretty big. I think they're losing a little bit of steam, but they're still pretty big. I used to have, not a huge amount, but I had a few. And I've slowly kind of given up some over time because I was like, I was on overload, or they just started going in a direction I didn't care for, or, I'm also on a low buy. So it's like, so I'm still willing to try different things out. A friend of mine suggested this next one because she loves it. She's like, you've got to try this, you've got to try this. And so I'm like, okay, I'll finally try it. And I really couldn't say no because it was 30% off. So this is Deck of Scarlet. Yes, and it's basically, I'll kind of explain it. So what this is that this is a subscription makeup box. It's not really a box, but it's basically a palette, and you get, let me see if I can find this, usually a lip liner or like a lip chubby kind of stick, or like an eyeliner, and in this case, this month it was eyeliner, which I actually really like because I'm in the process of weeding out one that I've used for years. I'm venturing out a little bit, and so this one's a nice little felt tip one. And this came with this box, but it changes depending on the month. And then you get a nice little compact makeup kit, basically like this. And what it consists of is 3 eyeshadows, a highlighter, a blush, and 2 lip glosses. So yeah, this is what it looks like. And well, the outside looks like. And what they do is they choose a different vlogger, beauty vlogger, and this box comes out every 2 months. So this isn't a month or monthly thing. It's every 2 months, so you're going to pay $29.95, I think, or $29.99. I'll put it to the side every month, or not every month, every 2 months. So basically 6 times a year. What I like about this is if you don't like something, because if you look, all the past boxes are online, and it's interesting to see the different styles because what I like about this box is they choose different vloggers with different, complexions, with lighter, deeper skin tones, medium skin tones. So there's something for everyone, and that's what I like, is it's a broad array of things. So if something doesn't work for you, because I'm a cool tone girl, and there's a warm tone palette. I have so many warm tone palettes. I'm just like, no, you just hit skip for the month or for that period of time, and then you can wait for the next one. And I just think that is really cool, actually. And it's not a big harassing thing, like sometimes it's just like, oh, I have to email or call, cancel. Seriously, it just showed up on my account, and I just hit, I don't want this month, and that's it. Boom. Done. And I just think that is really cool, actually, really creative. It's just a smart way to do it because it cuts out kind of the middleman and everybody contacting customer service. And if you want it later on, because you have 2 months to ponder, you can go back to your account, hit it, and there you go. You get it sent to you. And it takes about a couple weeks, once you order it. So, be patient. But what's interesting is mine actually came really quickly. So it didn't take a couple weeks. I think because I got this towards the end. This is the January, February one, and they're already going into the March, April. So I think because I was at the end of it and it isn't the beginning of the month where they're pushing everything out, they got it out quickly. So I was like, wow, okay, I got it within a couple days. It was really impressive, actually. So the customer service is amazing. So that's enough to keep me going, yeah, thumbs up. So you remove the sleeve like this, and here you go. And this is edition number 6. So they've put out 6. Yeah, in total. So actually, I think there was a 002. So, but it hasn't been around necessarily that long. But everything is cruelty-free, and everything is made in the USA. So if you prefer things to be made in the USA, you got it. If you are cruelty-free, yeah, I can almost speak today. Here you go. So it's kind of cool. I like the design. It's very sleek, very interesting, like a little book. But yet very compact, and I like that. You just put it away. Of course, with the liner, you're going to have to put that in wherever I put it in my makeup bag of what I'm using, so it's no big deal. Then you open it up, and here you go. There is a mirror inside, and I have not used this, as you can see. So there's the blush, there's the highlighter, there's the 3 shadows, eyeshadows. I don't want to blind you, so I'm covering up the mirror. So yeah, there it is. Now that blush is going to be a little bit tricky on somebody of my skin tone. Actually, some of these may be tricky, maybe a little bit darker, but I'm still excited. And then what's interesting is that there's this bottom flap that opens up, and these are the lip products right there. Isn't that cool? It's really interesting. So when you're using the powders, you close this. When you're done, you open that. So I'm really curious to see how this works. I really think this is just a novel idea. I think it's really kind of creative. So you're getting a whole look every 2 months just being shipped to you, and you don't have to do all the fuss of putting things together yourself. So the first color I'm going to start with is Space, which is the one in the middle, and obviously you'll see it'll be in the corner rather than hold it up every time. So here we go. Okay. I'm going in kind of lightly because I've never used these before, so I'm going in, I don't want to go nuts. So in case they're really pigmented or not, you don't know, and then you end up with a big mess on your face because it's really pigmented, and then you look like a jerk. So I'm going in gently, especially with my skin tone, because I'm kind of like a white canvas. Yeah. There's just not much pigment going on here. Okay, so now I'm going to go in with the Goldie color Aurora. It's kind of interesting. It goes on nicely. These are really smooth when you swatch them, when you put them on your finger. I'm just going to put it across the lid because why not? Just to see how that goes. And it's not as gold as I thought it would be. I thought it would be like a crazy, crazy gold color. It's actually a lot more muted than I was expecting. Yeah. It's a lot more muted. I thought that this was going to be a lot more pigmented in your face, but it definitely is not. So it's a light gold color. Now I find these to be very soft. They're very nice. They're not necessarily chalky at all. No, I don't think so. They are smooth. They're just not as creamy and packing on a punch as much as I would like. So trying to build this up. You can see, you know, it's okay. It's not quite as gold as it is in the package going on here. So you're going to really have to build this one up. I was really impressed with the gray. The gray was quite good, Space. But Aurora, which is this one, this gold, is just not going on quite as strong as I would like. Alright, so I'm going to take Gravity. We're obviously going for a space theme here. And this is the blue-gray. And I'm just going to put it in the corner and build it into the crease a little bit. Actually, you know what? Let me start with this eye because I'm actually right-handed. And I just think that this will be easier. So what I'm finding with this one is that, you know, it doesn't have as much of the powdery effect as the gray one did when putting it on. And I'm kind of just going by, I'm just kind of winging it. Because, you know, there are tutorials online, so if you're interested in that, they put up a lot of tutorials of how to make these different colors look, because sometimes they can be intimidating on people, or for people. But I feel like these colors are very usable, actually. But, so now we're going to go with Gravity, this beautiful blue, and what I like about this color, what I will say about Gravity is that it's a gray blue, so it's very wearable. I know a lot of people are horrified by blue, because it's kind of one of those colors that's very difficult to use, and not so much the case with this, actually. I think it's very wearable, which I really like. Because blues intimidate the hell out of people, and I can't really blame them. It's really hard to, you know, make it look classy, I guess. So I think this is going to work for the most part. What I'm going to do is the eyeliner next. I may just start it on here and finish it elsewhere. I don't normally put my eyeliner on camera because I'm still new to this game. And it has a nice texture. I don't usually use things like this. No, I usually use a different brand, but it's going on well. Actually, it's just really hard to do at this angle But I feel like it's going on really nicely, actually. I really like this one, actually. This is really good. Yeah, I'm pretty impressed with this, actually. And you know what it is it's not a black. It's almost like a gray, like, or a dark charcoal color, so it goes with this really nicely. It's not like this jarring black. So if you're tired of black and you're like, good, can we just do something else? This one may work well for you, actually. This is quite nice. This is a really nice pencil, and it's not, like I said, it's a charcoal color, so it's off black and not in your face black. So it's kind of nice because it's going outside the box. Okay, so I put the eyeliner on. I had a struggle with this and I lost. So I know I'm kind of channeling Amy Winehouse a little bit today. It's not the fault of the pencil. I actually really like the pencil. The issue is that I'm used to using a brush, not one with the felt tip, and so it was a little bit more difficult for me to use because I don't use these too often. I'm trying to use them more often than I used to, which was never, but I'm used to using the brush ones. I just find them easier to work with, so it's more, especially this one. Oh, whew. Yeah, so we're going to ignore that. So again, this is not the fault of that. It's the fault of this because it's a technique I don't use that often, is with these felt tip, and that's what it is. So no shade on the product. It's on the user. Now what I'm going to do is go in with this blush Stellar. Now, we'll see, because this is quite dark, how this works. Ooh. Okay. So I'm going to try to blend this out. Oh, wow. Okay, let me try it again on this side and tap it a little bit on a napkin. Okay, so that's how you make it work better. Yeah, what happens is with this, what you need to do is tap it in and then hit it up here and then hit it against a piece of paper, which I have here, and then put it on. And it's going to be a lot more successful because right now that is just laying there and not moving. So, ooh. Let me try to, this is my powder brush, and so I use a little bit of powder on it and then spread it in. And it's still just kind of laying right there in that corner. You can see where it originally did that weird plop, and it's not necessarily dispersing as well as I would like it to. It just kind of lays there. That's interesting. I'm going to try it again. Just to go in lightly. Go in lightly. Even if you have deeper skin tones, because what I'm finding is, and again, it just sticks. Because it's the same material, or it seems to be the same formula as the eyeshadows. And usually with blushes, you want them to be able to disperse better than this. You want them to be a gentler formula so that it gives a natural glow to it. And boy, that did not. Whew. Okay, so the next thing that I'm going to use is Stardust, which is the highlighter, and this isn't really going to be as dramatic, because it can't be, as that blush, because wow, that was, yeah, that was an experience. So what I'm finding is that this isn't picking up as well as I'm used to with highlighters. It's a very, very gentle glow. You have to build it up. I'm wondering if I use my fingers, maybe? Yeah, that helps. If you use your fingers, it helps. So I can't even believe that I actually have a retractable brush. You know, a lip brush. Because I never use this. It's actually broken because I never use it. So what I'm going to do is use a separate mirror so I don't get the eyeshadow in there. And so I'm going to go in with Astra, which is kind of this neutral color, and add it here and see what we could do. And it's like this muted kind of brown or taupe kind of color, which I think goes well with this, actually. You're going to have to work to pick it up. I don't know if it has a smell. Let me see. I just put my nose in it like a jerk. It kind of smells like a vanilla. Okay, so you have to really dig in there to get it on there, and once you do, it's actually kind of nice. It has a nice scent to it. It's not hard, it's just not a really loose lip product. And you know, you're gonna want to build it up a little bit, but no more than any other of this type. I don't really use stuff like this often, just because it's a pain in the ass to keep applying during the day. I think most people tend to avoid this type. Oops, and I just messed up there, sorry. The nice thing is, because it's a gloss, you just wipe it right away. Alright, so this is the final look. Finally. Yeah, I'm actually okay with it. The eyeliner, yeah, that's all me. So, you know, it's not one of my finest moments, but we've all been there. But yeah, I actually really like this. This actually works for this time of year, though we're heading into spring right now. So this is more of something, well, no, you could definitely still wear it this time of year. I actually like what ended up happening in the end. What I will say, so working with this, this is the first time I've worked with it. So again, you know, I don't know how long it wears. I haven't used it long enough to know how it works day to day, but going off first impression, this is a little bit difficult to work with, especially if you're a beginner. I think these would work better for more intermediate or advanced. There were times I didn't think that this was going to pull together. If you watch the video, what it is that a lot of these are very powdery. It's just very powdery, not to the point where there's tons of fallout, but it's still a powdery consistency. So when you put it on, I hate saying this, but you know how subculture moves around? This kind of moves around like that. So you could see that it was going outside of my lines here, and so I had to fix that up. You know, I'm going to be honest. Am I an advanced makeup user? Not really, but I put myself intermediate. So, you know, I'm still learning every day, but I'm definitely not a beginner, you know, but I'm still working on techniques and things and looks. So I'm kind of in the middle. So if you're a beginner, I think that this may be a little bit frustrating for you. If you're more advanced, I think you'll be able to navigate this better than some. And if you're like me or in the middle, you know, there's going to be a little bit of frustration here. You know, what's interesting is actually this gray, which is Space, worked really well. Space worked excellent. Yeah, I love that one. I would wear that every day as a crease color. But it happened with Gravity. Gravity was a little bit more difficult. It just spread around a lot and there was a little bit more fallout. And as far as Aurora, it's such a great color in the palette, but it really just did not pick up. Like you can still see, it's just not on my eyes the way that I want it to be. It just kept, the more you'd put on, the more it would get patchy, and so you're continually putting it on and it's still patchy and still patchy and still patchy. So that was a little bit frustrating. Out of the three of these, I just feel like Aurora wasn't very pigmented and it just takes a lot to build up. So it was a little bit frustrating. As far as Stellar, the blush, ooh, okay, so what happens is because it's dry and it's almost the same, it is the same consistency as Space, but because it's more pigmented and you know, a darker color to a degree, or more colorful, when I put it on, it just left blotches on my skin. It just plopped and just stayed this dark color. It didn't spread out, which I think you can see in the video. So what I did to make it work better was I would lightly dip the brush in and then hit it on a piece of paper and then put it on, and it worked a lot better. But that's kind of, you shouldn't have to put that much fuss into a blush, in my opinion. It should just go on and then blend flawlessly, but it just didn't. I could get it to blend, but I had to do a lot of work. And then I learned how to do it better on this side, but then I tried to add a little bit more when I was touching this up in the bathroom because I wanted to see what it looked like. And so I tried it again, and again, it just laid on the skin. So that was really frustrating. That did not work well. As far as Stardust, it is a really nice highlight, but I don't really feel that there's a lot of color to it. There's not a lot of payoff to it. So when you use a brush, it'll show up, but it's going to be very light. So if you're looking for a more dramatic highlight, this probably isn't going to be for you because it's very light. And I put on several coats and it's still really light. I felt it worked better when I used my fingers, but then it just laid on top of the skin rather than, it's supposed to be almost like a kiss of light across the skin. It just laid on there almost like an eyeshadow. So I'm wondering if they use the same formulas for every single one of the items, including the blush and the highlighter, because they do have to be formulated a little bit differently for success. And I don't feel like they were completely successful. As far as these guys here. Here they are. I did not try Venus, which is this beautiful color here. I love Astro. Astro's what I'm wearing here. I love it. I think this is a great color. I wish it would come out in a lipstick. I'm sure there's dupes to this, but I love this color. I think it's just this beautiful kind of taupey grange color, and I love it. This taupey grange color. I love it. I think I said grange. Taupey grange. And I like this. I do. I think this is a beautiful color. The only thing is that who wants to carry a brush around all the time and reapply? It just isn't realistic in this day and age. So, you know, most people don't do this. I think I had something like this when I was a kid, except it had no color in it. You know, it's basically a light colored balm. Because that's what you do when you're like a little kid. You're like, yeah, I'm all grown up. And that's what this kind of reminds me of. Most people I don't think really use this because it's just kind of clunky, and you don't want to carry this whole palette around in your purse, because why, unless you're spending the night somewhere, so it really doesn't make sense. So I don't know, I love the lip color, but I just don't want to carry this around. It's kind of clunky. But what I will say about this is I like the packaging. The packaging's just gorgeous. Overall, if it's around $30 for this. Do I think it's worth it? I'm going to be honest, for me personally, no. I just feel like there were some problems with the formula. I felt like it was a little bit difficult to work with, either, you know, with the blue where it just went out too far and it was hard. You can see early on in the video, it's hard for me to get it to blend correctly, and it was looking like I was a school kid who's never dealt with makeup before, and I know makeup well enough. You know, again, I'm no expert. I'm kind of the average Josephine. So, you know, I'm kind of doing this for like the normal people who aren't these like beauty gurus, because I am no beauty guru. I'm just, you know, an average person who loves makeup. So if you're like me, this may be a little bit frustrating. You could definitely get a beautiful look in the end. I did. I'm really happy with it. I really like this look, but it took a little bit of work and assistance with other products to come in, like powder. You know, I used my brush and then a powder to help spread out the blush a little bit more. So it takes a little bit of work. And a lot of people don't have time in the morning for that. You know I don't. I just want it to go on well and move on. Now, again, this is only a first impression. I have not used this, so I may use this for a good 3 to 5 days, maybe 5 days, just to really test it out to see how I feel about it, because I don't want to slam, and I'm not slamming it. I don't want to be too negative, because again, this is a first impression, but there were some problems with this. It is not necessarily my favorite formula, but for $30, you know, the packaging is gorgeous. The idea is fantastic. I just wish, maybe it's just this palette. I don't know if it's all the palettes, but I just wish it would be reformulated into something that would be a little bit easier to work with, because I think there would be more reason for people to go out and buy it. It's just a little bit difficult. So what I'm going to do is I will possibly revisit this again in maybe a week or two, because I have other projects that I'm working on right now. I'm working on Haul My Haul and a samples video. So it may take about 4 weeks to revisit this, but I'm going to try it again, because I don't think that this is fair to judge based off of first impression. I love first impression videos, but that's what they are. They're just a first impression video. So, you know, but there were some issues, and then there was my own user issue. Yeah. I'm going to learn how to use these. I know. I tend to use the L'Oreal, like, I'll put it to the side. It's L'Oreal one with it's like a painting brush. It's just so much easier for me. So, but this is really great. I really like this. And it's not overly black, and it was easy to work with, you know, so love this. I just messed up. So there you go. So that is my first impression of Deck of Scarlet number 7. So I'll give this a whirl, and I may be picking up some other ones here in sometime during this year and give it another whirl, because sometimes it's just a formula problem with certain colors or certain palettes and not necessarily other ones. So I may give it another whirl to see how it goes. So until next time, have a fabulous day. Bye.